Love 15.
Svitolina is a player that can get a lot of balls back. She's one of the better movers on tour. But since she has come back from maternity leave, she's looked to be more aggressive. She's tried to step in and sometimes take the ball a little earlier when she has those opportunities. And I also think, Josh, in a match like this where you know you have to produce a certain level of tennis against Keys, you know you have to take your opportunities, it actually makes it easier to make decisions out there and not hesitate.
So it's a very good start for Svitolina. Confident. 1-love.
First game.
And it's a difficult end to serve from. That's where, when you throw the ball up, toss up, at this time of the day, the sun's generally bright in the eye. So that's a good start.
Yeah, and I think it's a match where Svitolina also knows she's going to have to keep a pretty good first serve percentage. Not push the serve in, not just use it as a point starter, still hit it to targets, but try not to give Keys a lot of looks at second serves. So far over the course of the tournament, she's around 58% first serves in. Svitolina maybe wants that number to be a little higher today.
Well, this has just been such a weapon, hasn't it? All Australian summer, Chanda. The first serve, it's been brilliant. She's been hitting her spots, her target. It's just, when she's in free flight like this, it's hard to stop. There's two in a row to start.
And she's been one of the best players, Keys, at holding serve, winning more service games. And that comes into play whenever she's able to get that early break. It's why so often she can run off with the set.
Love.
So no problems for both players. Petko, great start, really. They look confident. They look ready to go.
They do. I thought Madison's footwork in the first game was just a bit slow, but now she's secured it, and this is the first time I'm seeing her new serve with the right leg being pulled up towards her left leg in motion live right in front of me, and it looks very good, very consistent. It really seems to be ingrained in her system, this new motion.
Yep.
Talk a lot about Svitolina's movement and her being such a dynamic player, anticipating out there in court. Madison Keys is also a terrific mover. It's underrated because her power is such a big part of what we focus on, but she can defend, she can keep some points going. Almost kept that one in play.
Led for service.
And this is what we've seen a lot over summer. Madison Keys pushing forward, very keen to try and finish at net, not afraid to come forward.
And she'll have some time against Svitolina where she can step inside the court, where she can use her skills up there at the net.
I find it remarkable for Svitolina. First part of her career, she was a completely different, her game style was completely different, a lot more passive, relying on her athletic ability. And now she's just so much more aggressive. I feel like there's a sense of freedom to her game where she's not carrying that weight of expectation when she plays. She's just really just going for it, not redlining it, but going for it a lot more. It's clever.
Svitolina.
3 comfortable service games to start this women's quarterfinals. 2-1, Svitolina.
Such a different flow to a match when players are holding serve and able to control more of the play when the balls are in their hands. And immediately, both these players settling in. Certainly, Svitolina knows how important it is to hold serve, to stay even with Keys. And for Keys, the serve being such a big weapon for her. She'll look for opportunities. If she's able to hold a little more easily, she'll be able to look for more opportunities to break serve. A lot of good coming out of getting off to a good start.
Svitolina winning Strasbourg 2023. Keys doing it in 2024. So they can play on all surfaces. There's no doubt about it. Well, it's another perfect morning here in Melbourne, just before 12 o'clock noon. And we have women's quarterfinals. Madison Keys taking on Elina Svitolina. 2-1 first set.
Getting to this quarterfinal stage, Keys has had to play different styles of opponents. Their last couple of opponents, more big hitters. Certainly Elena Rybakina, she had to counter a lot of pace coming at her, and she had to be the one stepping in. This matchup will be a little bit different, but Keys will still need to remind herself to take her opportunities, be aggressive when she can. And Svitolina, she's trying to get it out of the Keys strike zone, move the ball if at all possible.
Game Keys.
So the third ace already
2 games all
for Madison Keys, and we're at 2 games all.
Already starting to look very automatic on serve. Keys has gone up to the line.
You can just see they're Madison Keys interacting with her team, her coach, which is now legal. It's been a fabulous innovation from Tennis Australia to include the coaching courtside. Where players can go over and communicate with their coaches.
We need to be able to hear it, though.
We will.
When is that coming?
Well, I'm hoping sooner rather than later. Gael Monfils on the left there, and Andy Bettles on the right, the coach of Svitolina. And what a run Gael Monfils had here. All summer he won the lead-in event in Auckland at 38 years of age. And had an incredible win over Taylor Fritz on Margaret Court Arena.
It's been a bit of inspiration for Elina Svitolina, watching her husband work and win matches the way he has. Had to retire in his last match against Ben Shelton. But what a tournament for Monfils. Those second serves seem very hittable. Keys can get that going.
And we've been fortunate to see a lot of the stats that go on for these players. And we've just seen that Madison Keys is using her forehand down the line so much more often this year than previous years, and having such success with it. I feel she's been a little predictable going cross-court a lot of the time, but this year she's taking it down the line. And I think, Chanda,
the backhand as well, though.
Yep.
It's been a tremendous shot for Keys, and often her opponents aren't expecting it. Taking on that challenge of opening up the court, changing direction with it. It's going to be important for Svitolina on serve just to keep mixing it up and to keep spreading the court the way she did on that last one. Less pace and more of the placement shorter in the box with more angle.
That would have looked good courtside, Petco.
Yeah, I was just going to say it's very obvious from courtside that Svitolina needs to be careful with hitting too neutral of the shot. The moment Keys can set up for her ground strokes, they fly through the court so much more and they slide once they landed. Difficult to control on the other side. So Svitolina needs to find a good balance between hitting but being safe.
She was a bit safer with that serve. It didn't move Keys enough, and it's Keys with the break point.
Keys.
Just had to take one step, and that forehand is just what Keys looks to pounce on.
We've seen it a little bit, haven't we? The chip return from
Juice.
Madison Keys in her last few matches. I felt she probably had time to actually hit this one. Maybe a little too defensive.
Let's for service.
That's what Petko's alluding to, the ball, if it's a neutral ball and it's not with better location, this is what Keys can do to you very quickly.
Yeah, she tried to go body Svitolina, but the serve wasn't moving or penetrating enough, and Keys had extra time.
Juice. Advantage, Svitolina.
Sometimes it's a good play to go heavy and deep and not give Keys the angle, force Keys to try to create an opening on her own. It can be a little bit risky, but in that last point, Svitolina able to get just a little more pace and depth behind her shots.
Game.
Well, had to fight off a couple of break points, but she manages to do so. Elina Svitolina, 3-2 first set.
And it just feels like from down here that Svitolina's big challenge today is to be able to find an average ground stroke speed that will keep her safe enough to be able to extend the rallies, but they need to be biting enough for Keys not to be able to set up for a big groundies. I think if Svitolina finds the sweet spot, she has a great chance here, but she needs to find that. What is enough and what is too little?
All right, as we zoom around the grounds and around this incredible city here, you can see just a few clouds, but they're not expecting any rain today. The Botanical Gardens, which is just across the road from Melbourne Park here, and then back into the city. It's been a good start for both players. Day 11 here at the Australian Open quarterfinals.
Love.
And here's a look at the average topspin forehand speeds for both players so far. Keys 138 kilometers per hour to just 106 for Svitolina. Now, we expected Keys to have the bigger forehand. That is her weapon, but that's going to be the challenge for Svitolina that Petko has spoken about. How does Svitolina stay as even as possible, as neutral as possible in these rallies by going for maybe a little bit more pace, but not having it create the mistake or the error?
Touching.
It's so good, isn't it, this forehand, when
30 all.
Madison Keys creates enough space. She's got good footwork. Just drives that racket head to the target where she's trying to hit it. It's so hard to defend against. Chanda, this is the serve that I really like. She's had so much success with that slider wide.
40-30.
Takes a little bit of pace off it, lets it explode off the court.
She tried to go for that extra bit of kick, Keys did. And, you know, she's a player that likes to mix it up and tries to use a little variation in her toss to confuse her opponents. From Keys. Terrific plays up there at the net. And Svitolina did everything she could to put Keys in a difficult position. And she almost pulled it off. Keys, again, with terrific hands, and she closed nicely.
The sun is in a really bad position right now for Madison Keys.
That's a good hold. Sun, a little tricky when you throw the ball toss up there. And Petko, I know you.
3 games all.
Courtside without an umbrella. You're freestyling today.
I'm freestyling. I want to see the game, and the umbrella is obscuring my view a little bit. And the problem right now is that there is a huge cloud and it keeps coming in and out. So Madison, just when she sets up for the serve, throws it up, the sun poked out. And that's why she had these two frames, and the way she rotates her upper body is exactly towards the sun on that side.
Laver.
Strapping on the left thigh, she tweaked it a little bit in the final of Adelaide against Pegula, got treatment, went off for a medical timeout, and every match here we've seen it pretty heavily strapped.
Svitolina also nice up there at the net. And she did a good job just moving forward, just taking a little space away to make this last volley easier. She knew the pace was coming, and she was ready for it. She doesn't have as much power as Svitolina, but the placement was impeccable.
15.
Working with her feet and her legs to get behind each shot so that she could give it the proper direction.
Forty, 15.
Oh, it's classy stuff from Svitolina. Another comfortable service hold. And we're on serve, 4-3 first set.
Leads by 4 games to 3.
We mentioned Svitolina was going to have to do a good job getting more first serves in, and for the tournament she was averaging 58% of first serves in up to this quarterfinal match and doing well behind the first serve. Today her first serve percentage is up so far 72% of first serves in, and winning a high percentage, which is always the key. But Svitolina clearly very aware of how important that area is today.
How important do you think, or how relevant, or how often do the players really dig deep into the stats, do you think?
I think now there's so much data available and coaches are absolutely using it, and so players are getting the benefit of that.
It's been a wonderful start to this women's quarterfinals. So far on serve, it'll be Madison Keys serving. It's 4-3 with new balls. And Petko, these balls will just move off the surface, won't they? There's still a fair bit of heat given the last 3 or 4 days we've had here in Melbourne in the court.
Yeah, this was a great example. This courts this year really take up any kind of rotation you give them. So when Madison hits a ball, it really slides through and nicely and goes quick and skids. And Svitolina's rotation on the forehand just goes up a bit. There was another example. Both of these forehands had a bit more rotation on it, and it felt like Keys mistimed them because she was surprised by the bounce they had on him.
Svitolina being very opportunistic. She's having to make quick decisions out there, and so far they have been the right decisions. And she now has break points.
Let's second service.
Oh, it's a little long, so the first break of the match goes the way of Svitolina. 5-3, and now a chance to serve for the opening set.
Svitolina leads by 5 games to 3.
Yeah, that was good footwork, good movement and intensity from Svitolina to try to earn and then capitalize on those opportunities.
15 love.
See the experience of Svitolina coming through here. Got the break, and it was hard earned, and yet there's no letdown here. First 2 points of this service game, you can feel and sense the intensity and the intent behind each of her shots.
Oh, that's so clever. You may have noticed, but Svitolina has moved way over on the right there, away from the center tee, just to try and get that ball toss out of the sun. And brings up 3 set points. What a great set of tennis from Elina Svitolina. Just the one break takes it 6 games to 3.
By 6 games to 3. Love 15.
And ladies, we know that Svitolina has such a good record when she's in front.
Love the team.
She's won 65 of her last 66 matches when she's won the first set. So she's only lost 1 match in 66 times when she's won the first set at Grand Slam level, and that was to Coco Gauff.
Yeah, it's interesting when you break down why that is the case for certain players. And I think for Svitolina, it's that she doesn't beat herself. Once she latches on to the way that she needs to play, the strategy that's working, you have to do something a little more to get her off of it. And it just means that when she's out in front, it allows her to continue with that type of high level. I think Madison Keys has pretty good numbers as well when she wins the first set, and for maybe similar but slightly different reasons, but because Keys has such weapons at her disposal, that she always has that opportunity to solidify a lead. we knew this match was going to be a different kind of challenge for Keys, and she's got to get back to the discipline tennis that she's been showing really throughout this tournament, and also through good portions of the first set. It was not a bad first set of tennis from Keys, just a few misses towards the end in those critical moments.
Juice.
Keys just stretching out her leg slightly, the one that is taped. Stretching out that hamstring area, perhaps. We talked about the anticipation of Svitolina, and she was leaning towards the forehand side, anticipating that Keys was going to go cross court with it. Svitolina now, another break point.
You get the feeling this is a really crucial couple of minutes in this match here. Can't afford to lapse it all here for Keys.
Advantage, Keys. Juice. Advantage, Keys.
Just as Keys was tossing the ball, the sun came out a little bit stronger, and she had to catch it and make the adjustment. It's taking the extra time in this game. This is an important one.
Game, Keys.
Yeah, well done, Madison Keys. Have to save a break point. Could not afford to go down a set and a break.
Second sets.
Does have the tendencies, Madison Keys, to go in and out of matches, either brilliant or sometimes subpar. But that middle ground is what she's done better, I think, this summer. And really fought back in her previous match against Rybakina when she looked down and out in that third set. She sort of got it all together, and that's what it looked like just then happened for Madison Keys.
It's those adjustments that are crucial when you do have a little bit of a dip, or you're just trying to elevate, and Keys is doing a better job in those areas. These are two women who have made the most Grand Slam quarterfinals among players in this draw.
Yeah, a lot of experience on this court at the moment.
those are the misses that Keys has got to figure how to get out of her game right now. And it's in part because of Svitolina not giving her much angle, getting a little more spin, just a little more loop on some of those shots.
Thirty 15.
And Madison needs to figure something out with her return. She's making way too many return unforced errors when her racket is actually on the ball and she's connecting.
Those are returns Keys has been looking for.
Juice.
Not overplaying it. But a terrific contact point. Cutting it off at the angle.
You need it at this stage of the tournament.
Advantage, Svitolina. Cain, Svitolina.
That would feel pretty big, a hold serving into the sun like that.
1 game on.
Now both players going through some adversity on serve, having to play their way from under it. This is the reset that you want at the beginning of a set. And for Svitolina, after winning the first, she didn't want to go down the early break, completely kill the momentum that she's gained. She did well to handle that higher ball, Keys, because it looks like you can just explode the ball and generate all this pace, but some of those shots with more spin, it's harder to generate pace and not be out of control. So she did well on the approach, just couldn't get in position for the volley.
And do you feel that she's just feeling overwhelmed or pressured to go for too much?
I think so. And with how well Svitolina moves and anticipates, it's the combination of the two that is the struggle for Keys right now. She was coming in behind that forehand, but wanted to make sure she had a good enough approach and just caused her to overplay.
Could have easily crept over.
It did in the previous game. So fortunate for Keys that Ball fell back to Svitolina's side. A more patient point from Keys at just the right time.
30-all.
Yeah, you said it perfectly, Chanda. You can tell from courtside when she's just waiting for the right one rather than just going down the line too early sometimes.
I got a little fortunate on that one. She kept trying to get away from it, Keys, and just managing to fin that forehand off with a sharp inside out. It's a constant pressure that Keys is under right now. Svitolina is barely missing balls. Unless Keys forces her, the ball is coming back. Keys is having to constantly make decisions and figure out how to try to get ahead in these rallies.
Yeah, it's too good. This forehand line from Keys has been a weapon all tournament long.
Advantage Keys.
Svitolina making Keys work for it, but Keys, again, up to the challenge.
Game.
That's something a little different from Keys. Classy. Madison Keys holding serve. Leads 2-1 second set. First set, Svitolina.
Keys leads, but 2 games to 1.
Just looks like Madison Keys starting to settle in a little more. Just dropped the unforced error rate. It was a little high in that first set.
That was a lot high. I mean, 15 compared to where Svitolina was. Now, Keys has more winners to offset those unforced errors, but it really was the timing of them in that first set as well. In the second, she's gotten cleaner, but it's also, there's more discipline there in some of these important points, and that may be the difference over the course of this match. I've seen some tight games already, and both players are in it.
Done.
Magical, the Yarra River that just skirts alongside this incredible precinct here at the Australian Open. And this is on Rod Laver Arena. Facility built in 1988. First final, Pat Cash against Mats Wilander. 10-8 in the 5th, that was. And we've seen so many great finals and matches over the years, and once again, the Australian Open is delivering.
But those are good moves from Keys. It's the big shots, the forehand, but the looking at moving forward, and it means that she doesn't have to overplay on the approach. The approach is as much to get in position. She can give herself a bit more margin like she did.
Love 13. Fifteen, 13.
Here's a chance now for Keys.
15-14.
15-40.
$30-14. Juice.
Depth on that return. Should be annoyed Keys after missing 2 breakpoint opportunities. Earns herself breakpoint number 3.
Goodness. This was an incredible rally. And each one pushing the other that much more, and the hands at the end from Svitolina.
Yeah, not renowned for her volleys or net plate, so to speak, given how strong she is from the baseline, but that would have felt pretty good. And just apologizing to Madison Keys.
Now this drives me insane with Madison Keys. She's won all points in this return game when she went big through the center. got the short one, and then attacked the corners. And now 2 important points, and she misses the second serve return. That just, she cannot allow herself to do that.
Fault. Svitolina.
Just ran out of patience there, Madison Keys, in the end. Another good hold from Svitolina. Just keeps ticking all the right boxes in this match. 2-all.
That's been a terrific start, though, to this second set. And, you know, both players are putting some of their best stuff out there in terms of how they're thinking and trying to put together these points, making this match a little more physical. So both taking a few extra moments.
Love. Fault.
And it's a marvel to keep watching the footwork, the little steps that Svitolina is taking. She's constantly moving so that she's always on balance, or on balance as often as possible. Allows her to hit shots like that one.
30-15. $40-15.
It's blistering.
Keys.
Staying in touch here, Madison Keys. 3-2 second set.
Leads by 3 games to 2.
Warming up there courtside, Petco, or is it still a little cool?
It's still absolutely bearable. It is a little bit warmer, especially when the sun comes out. But other than that, it's all good down here. And I feel like the only thing that is standing between Madison Keys and a break here is just a bit of discipline on those return targets, because she's really, really picked up her game here in the second set. She's just not missing that much anymore. And she needs to realize that Elina Svitolina is not really hurting her if she just plays consistent, tough, high-intensity tennis. And then she will get a chance, I think. But this has become a great contest, really fun to watch. I'm sorry you are up there and not down here. Sorry, guys.
It's very comfortable here in the air conditioning. Wonderful shots of the vast venue that this has morphed into here at Melbourne Park. So much to see and do around the grounds. It's just a fabulous event to visit. Rod Laver Arena. It's women's quarterfinals day. Elina Svitolina has taken the first set and is on serve in the second.
Love 15. Coutinho. Touching.
This is a perfect time for Keys to step up and step in after holding tight game so far in this second set, but a slight opening for the American.
Great stretch. And this has been the game, a disciplined game that
15-14.
Petkovic wanted from Madison Keys, and she's being rewarded.
Not over yet. Keys, she's got another opportunity. Has not been able to get the break yet.
Brilliant from Madison Keys to secure the break. Fabulous ball striking.
Keys leads
for the first time in this match. Moves ahead in the set. 4-2.
On her 7th opportunity, Keys finally breaking through and doing so with the shot that is her biggest. Certainly behind the serve, the forehand has done the most damage. Still giving herself big lanes to hit through, and that has been the key here in this second set.
That has been the keys here.
I see what you did there.
15 love.
You need to get the umbrella out. It's a little warm out there for you. And this is what Madison Keys can do. She can quickly build scoreboard pressure. She can run away with the score within the matter of 5 minutes. She can really crack a match open.
30,
I've seen Svitolina stretch just before that last serve. Done it a couple of times back there. She's had some back issues at times in her career. Remember last year she had to retire in the 4th round because of it.
Forty, 15. Cain, Keys.
Madison Keys looking good now in the second set. It's a handy lead, 5-2.
Keys leads by 5 games to 2.
Petko, are you noticing anything with Svitolina? Has her movement fallen off, if at all? Does she look like she's in a little more distress?
She actually did the same thing against Jasmine Paolini after, I want to say, a set and a half, started stretching a bit. And I asked her afterwards, and she said that from last year when she had that spasm in her lower back and had to retire against Linda Noskova, it's almost like a precaution to keep the muscles loose. But it's difficult to say whether she maybe actually feels something, because that's been, as you said, Chanda, an ever-occurring thing for her, that lower back just spasms up and then she can't move for a couple of days, and it's cost her some of these big matches.
Time.
So just a little bit of a shift in the last 5 minutes here. It was very much Elina Svitolina in control, but just has dropped serve, and Madison Keys is up the ante here, just 1 game away from leveling this at a set all.
Cain. Dirty love.
This would be helpful for Svitolina.
40 love.
Simple hold. Down to the business end. She tries to hang in this set.
Cain, Svitolina.
She does.
Yeah, good effort.
Hold to love.
Keys leads by 5 games to 3.
Has gotten 1 break against Keys, of course, in that first set. Able to take it on her serve. So she's got to have some hopes that she can generate another. But this is the opportunity that Keys has been working towards with the second set now on her racket. And that's been a big shot for Keys. Behind the serve is the forehand, and her speeds have gone up from the first set to the second on her topspin forehands and her first serve. 4 kilometers per hour on the forehand.
Which may not sound like a lot, but
on the serve.
It's a lot.
Significant.
Yeah. I mean, because she is right up there with the top in terms of the biggest hitters in the game anyway, so increased spin rate, speed.
Thirty, 15.
There's been no hesitation as well from Keys when she sees those kinds of shots.
Couple set points.
T30.
Well done, Madison Keys. Had to fight hard.
By 6 games in
this quarterfinals, going the distance. It's 1 set all. So far, 6-3 for Svitolina, 6-3 Keys, just 1 hour and 18 minutes, so speed of play has been good.
Keys being more aggressive, and sometimes that aggressiveness can get things to fall your way. Reflex. It was impossible for Svitolina to catch up to.
Chandra, I just feel Svitolina really needs a strong opening service game. Just needs to stem the flow of the shots coming from Madison Keys here. This is where Keys can be very dangerous.
And Svitolina could hope for a few more of those, some quick points, free points off of return misses.
T30.
Just feels like she's got a lot of time on these returns at the moment.
Juice. Svitolina. Cain.
Oh, two great serves. Get out of trouble. And it's Svitolina. 1-love. Final set.
This is the time to push back, and Svitolina doing a tremendous job there, coming up with a couple of her best serves when she needed it most. Trying to start this set as she has done throughout the match. Start on serve. That's her best chance. Keeping a little tension in the match in terms of the scoreline and potentially getting more break opportunities. But these two have both done a good job holding serve. It's just been the one break in each set.
Love the team.
Kind of get the feeling that whoever can get the first break, that's the player that's going to have the advantage. That's what we've seen so far.
Coutinho. Thirty, 15. Let's a service.
Just long.
40, 15. Game Keys.
So a good opening service hold for Madison in this third set. Both players with positive three-set Grand Slam records. Svitolina 27 wins and 12 losses once it goes to 3 sets, and Keys it's 28 wins and 19. So Svitolina with the better 3-set record.
Svitolina's got to be ready for a little bit more of everything right now. Keys has started throwing in the slice out of nowhere. That time, little short drop shot, and she just barely caught the tape on it.
30 love.
She missed it, but it was the right idea from Keys. Just needed a little more height, but that would have put Svitolina under tremendous pressure.
It's starting to happen pretty often, isn't it, now where
15.
Keys can really attack this second serve.
And it looked like Svitolina, she didn't quite go as hard at this ball. She ran through it, and maybe it was slightly past her. Didn't feel she could get to it. And she's got to manage herself physically, Svitolina, and that's a big part of matches like this one. This match has been moving at a nice clip, just coming upon the hour-and-a-half mark. Both players have been trying to take advantage early.
Cain.
Good hold from Elina Svitolina. 2-1 final set.
Svitolina leads by 2-1.
About the players out there managing themselves, managing their bodies. You know, Petko, you've got a big match later. I gotta ask you, are you managing yourself down there? How's the temperature? How's the heat? How are you feeling?
The sun is warm, and I've been yelled at from multiple people to put up the umbrella, but I'm dedicated to the game, and I just want to see everything, because this has become such a great contest, and I think 1 or 2 points in the end will make the difference, and I do not want to miss them. And you know, once you're my age, there is nothing to manage anymore.
No, you're not there yet.
You're in your prime.
You're not there yet, yes.
Actually, I am in my prime. If you look at Novak Djokovic and how he's played yesterday, I am absolutely in my prime.
Peaking. Absolutely.
Petko in the legends. She's not making her come back just yet.
Not yet. Why not? Stunning day here for the fans. Big crowd in Rod Laver Arena. First match of the day. It's women's quarterfinals action. Elina Svitolina on serve, leading 2-1 against America's Madison Keys. Winner of this to take on Emma Navarra or Iga Swiatek, the number 2 seed.
Love.
Halt.
Dirty love.
Halt.
30-15.
So difficult to defend a series of shots like those
15.
coming from Keys. And she's hitting it big, but she's not increasing the risk. Lots of margin away from the lines, and Svitolina, she's got to cover a lot of court back and forth.
Forty 30.
Fault.
Cain, Keys.
So 2-all.
2 games all.
Keys has been forcing Svitolina into a few more misses on the edges of the court, and it's because of the quality of the Keys ground strokes.
Can you see a player breaking the deadlock?
I can see it happen. I mean, it's going to happen, but will it happen here? I feel like Keys has been closer, and she's been holding on to the momentum really from throughout the second set. And then, of course, the firepower. You've got to give her the advantage in that department. Making it look easy there.
Just been a little up and down though, hasn't it? One brilliant return, then a missed return, so just can't quite string the consistency together on the return game.
It's so tempting to want to overhit on those returns, yet the serve from Svitolina, not easy to generate all of the pace. So you've got to give yourself a little more safety.
Let's for service.
You know, most of the time, it's trying to get good depth and just pressure the server, not necessarily hit a winner. So you don't want to miss those returns. Like that.
Yeah, been very good, Madison Keys, when she's pushed forward at the net.
15
It's
30.
been an intent by Keys, those kinds of plays. She hit the return and she was looking to move forward. And that just helps you play 2 or 3 shots ahead and can help cut down on the misses. Those points look simple,
15,
but
14.
Keys is working very hard to get in position, to stay stable behind these shots. Tremendous get from Svitolina, and Keys did not get distracted. Close out that last forehand.
30-14.
Oh, beautiful strike. And it's Madison Keys with the first break in the third set. She leads 3-2.
Keys leads by 3 games to 2.
And I just want to say, our own Chenda Rubin just called this, because at the very beginning of the game, she said it feels like this is leaning slightly towards Madison Keys. And that's why she works for us.
Yes.
Congratulations on this great hire. Thank you very much.
It's a team effort. I'm playing off you too, Petco. Like what you have to say down there. It's just been interesting to watch Keys kind of work through what we knew would be a tough, challenging match. The way Svitolina's been playing, and you know how tough she makes it on opponents to get the ball through her and by her. Keys has found the formula. Just has to stay focused now.
Time.
Well, the momentum now with Madison Keys. The break in this third set. Sort of felt about the middle part of that second set. It's been favouring Madison Keys.
Thank you.
Can she get it done from here? Still a lot of work to do. 3-2 final set.
Cain love.
Even though Keys got past there, those moves have still been excellent for her to make. She has won the majority of those net points. She's 22 of 25 points won at the net, Keys, and she kept coming. That's been important.
The wind is really starting to flow from the Madison Keys racket at the moment. A real purple patch right here.
Game Keys.
Just a couple of games away now. 4-2 Madison.
Keys leads by 4 games to 2.
Very close-knit team for Keys. Obviously, her husband and coach, Bjorn, far left. Her physio in the middle, her fitness trainer as well.
Yeah, there's not a lot of fuss or fanfare around Madison tournaments.
They've been getting down and doing the work, and that has shown in her tennis. Her ability to go the distance.
30-15.
It's probably the only part of her game today that she would not be as happy with as other parts, is that return on the first serve. We saw against Rabakina, she was deeper in the court. She's done a lot of that as well today. But I feel that the return there, she's got a racket on that. There's no reason why you shouldn't be making it. Oh, it's a great point, isn't it, from Svitolina, just hanging around.
New ball.
Not done with just yet. Madison Keys with a break, 4-3.
Keys leads by 4-3.
That's interesting when you look at Svitolina and the number of unreturned serves that she has had throughout this tournament coming into this quarterfinal match. And it's been around 30% of her serves unreturned. Here today with Keys, it's been at 38% unreturned. And as you said, Josh, she has had some of those returns on her racket. She's naturally going to go bigger, so you accept a few more misses, but that may be an area for her to focus on. If she gets through this match, focus on improving for the semis.
Just a couple of games away now, 8 points. It would feel close, but there's a lot of work to do. Another picture-perfect day here at Melbourne Park. Well, they call it the Happy Slam here at the Australian Open, and there's not a reason in the world to be unhappy if you're here in Melbourne Park. It is incredible. Big crowds, plenty to see and do. And it's Madison Keys still with a bit to do here. Up a break, 4-3 final set.
Love 15.
Yeah, really got to keep that ball away from the forehand of Madison. This forehand is such a weapon, and it's doing the damage.
Fault. Fault.
15-13.
There is a slight breeze right now blowing down the back of Madison Keys. That's just something to keep an eye out for. I think that's why she just slightly missed that second serve.
She made a big adjustment on that second serve.
Dutch-York.
Gave her extra space.
Served so well, hasn't she? 79% first serves in.
Oh. 40-13.
From Madison Keys, just one game away from moving on into the semi-finals.
Keys leads.
That was such a smart
5 games
serve,
to 0.
using the wind to her advantage. Used that kick serve as a first one. Surprised Elina Svitolina, got the short one. Really smart play here by Madison Keys too. And that was an obstacle with the wind that just came out of nowhere.
Hitting love.
She's still getting the feet going,
59.
getting into position, Keys, and that is important ahead of hitting these big shots.
Fault.
Out. 30-15. Cain, Svitolina.
Doing the right thing here, Elina Svitolina. It's going to ask the question of Madison Keys. Can she serve it out? It's 5-4, final set.
And I do think, Chanda, you mentioned it earlier, that the back of Elina Svitolina is just bothering her a little bit. I feel like she's not quite as able to hang in those rallies as she was in the first set, and it just feels like the back is a little bit of an issue for her.
Yeah, I think there is some slight issue. There's a few balls that she's kind of not going for that she'd ordinarily at least make the effort. And I think you're right. It has resulted in a few more outright winners for Keys, and she'll take it. We'll see what Svitolina can bring to this game and whether Keys can keep the serve going the way she has.
Time.
It's a huge moment for Madison Keys. Just trying to get it done here. Leads 5-4, just one break in this final set.
Love the team.
So all match long coming forward.
Coutinho.
That's 23 of 26 net points. So that is a lot. That's a huge number for Keys to come forward in a match. Need some first serves here, Madison.
15,
There's
13.
1 or 2 free points.
Oh, what a miss from Svitolina.
30 all.
That would feel so big if you're Madison Keys, wouldn't it?
Huge relief to see that ball sail wide off of a second serve.
Oh, it's only just long. Got a lot of it. Svitolina, so it's
14,
match
13.
point for Madison Keys.
Thank you. Game, set, match, Keys.
And Madison
2 sets
Keys
to
into the
3-6,
semi-finals of the
6-3,
Australian
6-4.
Open. And the run continues here down under. 3-set winner.
This was a terrific performance from Keys. She had to work for it. Svitolina came out in that first set playing some of her best tennis, very clean, forcing Keys into some uncomfortable positions, especially at the end of the first set. And there were some real adjustments that Keys made in the second. She got more disciplined, started coming in a bit more as well, backing up her big shots. What a terrific tournament for Elina Svitolina, her first tournament of the new season.
Yeah, wonderful. Wonderful competitor. Has achieved so much in the game, and what a great start to her year, and no doubt onwards and upwards for more great results. All right, we get a chance now to hear from Casey Delacqua, who is courtside with Madison Keys.
Maddie, congratulations. Through to the semi-finals here at the Australian Open for the 3rd time. After that first set, what did you think that you did well to turn the match around?
I felt like I kind of just had to start playing a little bit more aggressive and try to get to the net a little bit quicker. She was, controlling a lot of the points and making me run, so I felt like I needed to try to get on the advantage a little bit quicker, and luckily I was able to do that.
Yeah, it felt like you really raised the level of intensity and energy and physicality behind the ball. You made your first Grand Slam semi-final here at the Australian Open 10 years ago. How different of a player are you now to that of 10 years ago?
I think I play a little bit smarter, for sure. Probably a little bit less fearless, though. But, to be here 10 years later in the semifinals again, I'm really proud of myself and really excited to play another semifinal here in Melbourne.
And just on that semi-final, there's a real American flavour here on centre court today. Obviously, we've got the other women's quarterfinals, so I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. And then obviously Ben Shelton following that match as well.
I'm really excited to go and get to watch Emma and Ben later today. I think Emma and Iga is going to be a really competitive match. Emma's been playing just marathon matches that I've been living and dying over. And I'm kind of hoping for my own nerves that it's not a live or die marathon match again. And then excited to watch Ben play another match. It's really a great group of Americans, and I love being able to kind of travel around. And it's always nice to have, friends that are also traveling this crazy circus.
Yeah, it certainly is to be able to really push each other along. And one thing that I know about you is you have a real sense of perspective in life. And one thing you have founded is your charity, Kindness Wins. Just tell us a little bit about your charity and the work and I'm sure the work that you do there.
Yeah, I felt like tennis has just brought so much opportunity to my life, and I felt like I wanted to be able to give that to as many people as possible. Tennis isn't the most accessible sport, so I wanted to try to get equipment and new courts and just give as many kids the opportunity to play tennis as possible. I think it opens a lot of doors, and I think it's, builds a lot of really great characteristics, and I think the more kids playing tennis, the better. So that's kind of my goal.
That's a beautiful message. Madison Keys through to the semi-finals here at the Australian Open.